Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Your Relationship With podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Snow. I know it's kind of weird. There's no jingle. There's no fancy introduction. There's no guest expert today. It's just me. And the reason for that is I have been racking my brain trying to find the perfect person to come on the podcast and talk to you guys about your relationship with networking. If you've listened to me for a while or followed me on social media, you know that networking, like a human and not like a salesy weirdo, is my jam. So I've been trying to find someone who really is in alignment with all of the things that I believe and all the things that I teach about networking. And then all of a sudden I realized, why am I looking for someone else to talk about networking? Why don't I just talk about it myself? So I'm going to be dropping into the podcast every once in a while to give you some little nuggets of wisdom about networking to help make all of your business relationships better. If you don't know me, I am a business strategist and business relationship consultant for female entrepreneurs. So basically what that means is I help you build your business through genuine connections and authentic relationships. My business, Powerful Women Rising, is actually the third business that I've started. My first business was a contract paralegal business working for personal injury attorneys. That company actually still exists today. My second business was as a dating and relationship coach. My company was called Love Starts Here. That was also the name of a very successful podcast that I had, which is actually still out. If you are single and want to listen to it, it still gets 200, 300 downloads a week without me even trying, which is crazy. And then I started Powerful Women Rising. And when I started this company, one of the things that I had realized was when I looked back on all of my other businesses and all of the money that I had spent on experts and masterminds and trainings and workshops and all of the things, the one thing that had consistently made me money over and over again in both of my businesses was the relationships that I had built, the connections that I'd made, and the referrals that I got from it. So that is why I really want to refocus female entrepreneurs on their relationships to help them stop spending time and money on the shiny objects, the thing that you see that is like, oh, I need this certification. I need this program. This is what I need to learn how to do. This is the coach that's going to take my business to the next level. You already have everything that you need. You just need to learn how to leverage it to have the relationships that are going to help your business grow very quickly. So that is what I am all about. I'm also very much about authenticity, about being yourself, about not feeling like you have to show up like the cookie cutter perfect version of the female entrepreneur. I think that's a huge reason why networking has gotten so weird, is because there's so many people trying to be who they think they're supposed to be in order to sell, in order to get referrals, and ultimately to be successful business owners. And I think the more we can show up as our true authentic selves, as real people, the more we're going to be able to attract the right people to us and the right opportunities. So that is what I'm all about. And today I want to talk to you about the very basics of networking, which is why you do it. Why do you network? I ask so many people this question, and sometimes people don't actually have a good answer. Sometimes they're just networking because they were told it's what they're supposed to do, right? It's one of the things when you become an entrepreneur, when you become a business owner, everybody's like, oh, you got to go network. And you're like, I don't know really what that means, but I'll show up to this event and I'll drink some wine and I'll talk to some people and be like, oh, I networked. Other people I talk to say they network to find clients, to make sales, to make offers, to find people to sell their stuff to. Those are all the wrong reasons for networking. So if those are your reasons and you are not getting traction, that is probably why. So in order to talk about the real reason to network, I want to look at some of the definitions of networking, because what I always tell people is you are not networking to find clients or to make sales. You are networking to grow your network. That is the purpose of networking. So let's look at what a network is, or what the definition of networking is. So way back when, in like 1839, the definition of networking was any complex interlocking system. So this was in reference to transport by rivers, canals, railways, right? These were all interlocking, interconnected systems that accomplished something. So things weren't going all the way across the country on one train, on one railroad track, right? There were a series of connected tracks, and that is what got things to where they were going from where they were. So you might take one track from California to Nevada. That train would get on a different track to go from Nevada to Ohio. I'm trying really hard to get my geography right here, people. And then get on a different track to go from Ohio to Maine. I don't know if that actually was a thing, but I think those were geographically at least went from west to east. So we got that going for us. So the point is, any complex interlocking system that is working together to solve a problem or to accomplish something. So if you think of this in terms of networking for your business, this is how that works. You know Cindy. You have a relationship with Cindy. You have a connection with Cindy. Cindy has a connection to other people, right? So instead of you having to go out and meet all of these people and create relationships with all of these people, you create a relationship with Cindy. Then Cindy tells her friend Janice, oh, I met this lady and she does this amazing thing. She has this networking group. It's so fun. You should totally check it out, right? Janet talks to her friend Nancy and is like, Nancy, I heard about this networking group. Do you want to check it out with me? Right? So Nancy is Maine and Cindy is California. Wait, maybe I'm California. I'm terrible at analogies sometimes. But anyway, the point is Nancy has now gotten to my networking group through that series of communications, through that series of interlocking systems. So it has made a lot less work and a lot less effort for me to get Nancy into my space because of those connections. Okay. The second definition is a broadcasting system of multiple transmitters. This is very similar to what we just talked about. Instead of me having to be everywhere to send my message everywhere to network or to market and to sell and to tell everybody about my product everywhere, now I have a broadcasting system of multiple transmitters. Everyone who is in my network, who I have a genuine, authentic relationship with, they have now become my transmitters. They are now the people who are out in the world meeting other people, sharing about what I have, and I'm doing the same thing for them. So all of these transmitters are going to get information about you and your business out into the world much faster and much more efficiently with less time and energy from you, because it's going to be going through all of these multiple transmitters because you have taken the time and put in the effort to create those relationships. This also works not just for selling your stuff, but for finding opportunities. So I was thinking about this morning. I have a friend who is an event planner, and she also runs retreats for newly divorced or single women. And she is not an expert in that area. She puts on the retreat, and so she looks for experts to come present workshops and classes and things for the women that are at these retreats. It's called Revivify Within, by the way. If you are newly divorced or single and want to check it out, I'll put the link in the show notes. Anyway, the point is, she is not limited to just the women in her network to find presenters for these divorce retreats, right? Because I have a relationship with her. Now I'm out talking to people, meeting people. When I come across somebody that I think this would be a great opportunity for them and they would be a good match for her, now I can connect them with that opportunity. I know a ton of other women who have podcasts. Some of them are business related. Some of them are personal. Some of them are somewhere in between. But because I have relationships with those podcasters, now when I'm out networking, I'm always looking at who is someone I can refer who would be an amazing guest for this podcast. And same with my own guest. I've had some incredible guests on this podcast. And so I'm always thinking when I'm out networking and meeting people, who have I had as a guest that I could recommend to these people that would be a great connection for them, right? So much of entrepreneurship and finding those opportunities requires you to be at the right place at the right time, having the right conversation with the right person. But when you have a bigger network of people, you have so many more opportunities to be having that right conversation with the right person because you have these multiple transmitters who are all out there having conversations as well. And then the last definition I want to talk about is a net-like arrangement of threads or wires. Anything formed in the manner of or presenting the appearance of a net or netting. And the reason I really like this analogy of the net, of all of these connected threads or wires that are creating this net, is because there is also a benefit for networking that a lot of us don't think about. We're so focused on making sales, getting profit, finding new clients, but there is a lot of benefit that comes from having people in your network, just in terms of having people to support you, having people to give you advice, to share their wisdom, to help you learn from their mistakes, to brainstorm with you, right? There is so much value in having that community, even if it's just one or two people that you have in that close network that you rely on for that kind of support in your business. It can make a world of difference. So I always think of that definition as like a safety net. It's this connected group of threads or wires, which are actually people in this analogy, but they are your net. They are the ones that are there to catch you when you put something out into the world that you think everybody's going to want and nobody buys it. They are the people who are there for you when you spend days and days and days working on your landing page and you still can't get it to connect to your domain. And you're like, why am I even an entrepreneur? This was the worst idea. They are the people who are there for you, your net, to pick you up whenever you need them. And that is something that is essential to entrepreneurship. So I hope that these 3 definitions gave you a different outlook on networking so that when you go out and meet people, whether it's one-on-one for a coffee, at a networking group that you're a member of, even if it's just a one-off networking event, think about these definitions and who you want in the network in terms of those definitions, not just the people who you think you can sell your stuff to. That is when you become a salesy weirdo. The other stuff is how you stay a human. All right. On that note, I have a super exciting announcement, and you only get to hear it if you made it this far in the podcast. So if you've been listening to me for a while, you know I have a membership community called the Powerful Women Rising Community. Powerful Women Rising Community is getting a total revamp, and we are relaunching in October, and I am super excited for it. So basically, this community is going to be everything that I just talked about in this podcast in one online group. So we are going to have a speed networking call once a month. We are going to have a mastermind call once a month. And then there's an exclusive Facebook group that you'll be a part of where you can get advice, you can share your celebrations, you can share your products and events and offers, you can get support, you can look for opportunities. So it is going to be amazing. I already have a wait list going and there's some awesome women on it. So if you are looking to network more with other female entrepreneurs who are like you, who are positive, who are supportive, who are focused on giving value rather than just making a sale, who are just as committed to success as you are, definitely check out the new and improved Powerful Women Rising community. There is a link in the show notes to the new webpage that's got all the information that you need on it. And I hope that you will check it out because I truly think it is going to be so valuable for you in helping you grow your business. So check that out. Reach out to me with any questions, and I will see you next time. Have a great week.